Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be covering Merrill Edge's research tools. It's a free account you can sign up for Merrill Edge. You can begin using their tools for free. Now I kind of want to make this video today because I got a call from Merrill Edge's investment consultants. They were reaching out to those clients that use their self-directed accounts. I have my self-directed cash managed account and my self-directed Roth IRA. I believe that all investors should start with their self-directed Roth IRA. There's no fees associated with the account, and then as you begin investing in the self-directed Roth IRA, all your capital gains, all the dividends, all the interest is 100% tax sheltered, meaning that you don't have to pay taxes after you hit 59.5. So you can build this up, you can build your huge egg inside there, $500,000, $1 million in there, and once you hit 59.5, it's 100% tax free. You don't have to worry about what your income is. When you're older, you could be making $1 million a year and it wouldn't matter because it's 100% tax free. So there's two platforms I suggest you guys starting your Roth IRAs. Merrill Edge, if you have $50,000 or more, then you'll be eligible for the $0 trades and the Market Pro software. If you have less than $50,000, such as you can start an account over at M1 Finance. My wife, I made her a self-directed Roth IRA, but she didn't have $50,000 to begin investing in her cash managed account, so I set her up over on M1 Finance with a self-directed Roth IRA with just the $5,500 into the Roth IRA to kind of get her started, and it's commission free. There's no fees. It's partial shares, so she's able to create a very nice diverse portfolio and begin managing. It's not really, it's managed by her, but I put it together and she really likes it. So those are two platforms I suggest you guys go take a look at, self-directed Roth IRAs. Now we're going to be taking a look just at the research tool. I primarily have used the research tool, U.S. markets and sectors and industries primarily, and some of the news. Sometimes it's better than seeking alpha or going over and looking at Yahoo Finance. So basically, he asked me if I had any questions for him. I had a few, so he sent me, preferred rewards. I already hit my platinum level. The next level is like 100,000 invested in my account, and then I'll get like 100 free trades per month. Right now I'm at platinum, so I get 30 free trades per month in the Market Pro software. He asked me if I use their insight tools or the reporting tools. I did not, so he sent me some links to go check these out. So I'm going to go and check these out. My first time taking a look at these, so we can look at this together. And if you guys use Merrill Edge, I know a lot of my viewers and subscribers have signed up over at Merrill Edge, and I think this video will benefit you guys in helping you guys do research on the platform instead of having to go out and look through these crazy websites for it. So here, if you were to just click on research, you're going to see the indexes here at the top, how they've moved for the day. Now it is 11:50 p.m. so these indexes here for the day have probably reset because I believe they're probably going by like mountain time or another time. I'm over on the Pacific Coast, so it won't show you the change for the day, but you can see the 1 month trend right here, and then the large cap stocks have closed a little bit lower today. As you move down, you can see the recent news. You can select my holdings, and that'll give you news sort of pertaining to your stocks. Now, I don't hold any Apple, I don't own any Triple M or Kroger, Alaska Airs, or Newell brands, but this is one that popped up today that I want to take a look at with you guys. So if you didn't know who they were, which I don't really know too much about them, I'm going to showcase to you how you can find out a little bit about this company if you've never heard of them at all. So as you move your way down, you can take a look here at company announcements. You can flip through here and take a look to see if you can find your company, or you can just select view all companies and then search for your company inside there. So this kind of goes over their earnings. So Intel just released earnings today. I believe Lowe's did a few days ago, but I know Intel killed it today. And moving down a little bit, you can see stocks, options, ETFs, mutual funds, and this is just how they traded for the day. So we can see that stocks, S&P 500 losers is Newell Brands. Some of their competitors are Tupperware. S&P 500 gainers, we had VAR, ES, GWW. I don't really mess too much with the gainers. I think that's great for them, but a lot of times if you look at gainers, they're not going to continue on an upwards trend. They may have some pullback, whereas if I take a look at some of the losers, like this guy got hit by 20.5%. We can take a look at that stock. Did they fall below their price to book value? What caused them to fall from grace? And we'll take a little bit further deep in, go take a look at them a little bit better and see if they're worth kind of investing in for the short term to get some, I don't recommend anyone going in for short term. I've done long-term investing and it's worked really well for me. But continuing down, sector performance, decent rating. So these are just kind of talks about specific stocks that were upgraded or downgraded telecommunication-wise. One of them is CenturyLink in here and AT&T. These are two of my holdings. They've all been downgraded back in December, but they've done really well. CenturyLink, I bought them back in December. They were $14.40. At one point, I bought them at a 15% yield on cost. Now they're trading at $17.78. So definitely done very well there. And that is on their main research tab. Now, taking a look at their email here, bring that up. They recommended me go check out their insight tool. So this can be found under research tab, technical analysis, technical insight. So research tab, investing tools, technical analysis. Now this is kind of hidden, so that's why a lot of people don't check out their tools, because they're like through different walls here. So you got to go into technical analysis, which is loading, and then we have their technical insight tool. We go to technical insight, so we click on this and we're going to be redirected to a third-party website. Okay, so now kind of blow this up. So here we have the technical insight. So the ticker symbol I would like to look up with you guys is Newell Brands. So NWL. And here we can see the current stock price. Okay, it closed at $24.81. We can see that there's options available. It's consumer packaged goods. We can see a summary. There's 22 technical events. We can see short term, or intermediate, or long term. So what has happened over the 6 weeks to 9 months? So let's go ahead and click on it. And if we highlight each of these, it doesn't do anything. But if I click on it, okay, it zooms in and I can see that it is an intermediate term bearish. So this was at around $30. So they had a bearish event that triggered. And as we continue to move down here, let's go ahead and just look at daily here. What happened over the short term? Because the stocks fell by 20.5. So let's take a look at the momentum. So they labeled it as momentum. And for bullish events, upwards momentum has built up with the latest price now trading higher than the price 10 bars ago. The opposite is true for a bearish event where we're seeing downwards momentum that the price is trading lower than 10 bars ago. So they kind of go over some different technical events. So it's kind of an interesting way here. You can see that they fell 20.5% right there. So they fell from nearly $30 range all the way down to the $24.81 range. They did fall all the way down into the $23 range before kind of bouncing back up. So that is their technical insight tool. The next one is their reporting tool. So this is underneath research tab, global research. So research tab, global research. And we can take a look at some reports here. Now they have the rating changes, 12-month price objective, stock list updates, estimate changes, earning estimate changes. Okay, so we take a look at some earnings here for different stocks. So I want to go ahead and filter it, and I want to look up the specific ticker NWL, which is Newell. And after a few, view reports. Okay, so here's my 5 reports. We can see that there's 5 reports starting back at January 13th, going until January 25th. So let's take a look at the latest report. So they were downgraded from a buy to neutral, and they lowered their price from a $40 range down into the $28 range, and that kind of and they lowered the third time in 4 months. So yeah, they've been knocked down quite a bit here. And if we want to, we can download the PDF report. So we click on here, and that goes into their full report here. So visibility to remain an issue despite low multiple, downgrade to neutral. So we can kind of go over why they were downgraded to neutral. We can go over their low visibility to way. So it's trading at 9 times our next 12-month earnings per share versus a 20-year average of 15 times. While this provides some downside protection, we also see items preventing sustainable upside in the near term, including investor confidence. So yeah, investor confidence, which was impacted again today. Operating profit expectations still muted. Earnings per share now reflective of a low tax rate and potential for more earnings per share volatility following divestitures. So what happened today, let's see, where's their news article? So this is just reports. So if we want to go back and take a look at the news that was covered for Newell, we can just come down and we click on the specific stock themselves, and then we could take a look at the news here. So right here we can take a look at their research, and then here other news. So Rubbermaid maker Newell Brands to pair businesses in a turnaround plan. So after spending billions of dollars to scoop up rivals and build a conglomerate of household products, Newell Brands is reversing course, looking to unload brands and shed half its facilities. So this did not sit well with the investors invested in them. So the company is going to be selling Sharpie markers. The company currently sells Sharpie markers, Elmer's glue, Rubbermaid containers, and Grape-Go baby strollers. It more than doubled in size in 2006 when it acquired Jardine Corp. So they had an acquisition recently. So that's kind of like some of their news. You can kind of just highlight it, and that's very nice. And then it kind of goes into the reports here that we kind of covered before. Yeah, those are the reports. So actually, you don't even have to go over to the Insight tool or the reporting to the reporting tool. You can get them right here on the right hand side. That's very nice. And then you can have your news right here. So that's cool. And yeah, they were downgraded to a neutral. They still remain a buy by the CFRA. They're rated at a 4-star, up from 3 stars. Now, one of the cool things about Merrill Edge is if you don't know anything about the stock, you just go over here to introducing a new way to research. You click on their stock story. Now, I think this is one of the funnest things here on Merrill Edge is you can kind of go through and look at the specific stock story, and it kind of goes through and shows quite a bit of information. So it goes over who they are, how are they doing, how has the stock performed, and then what do the analysts say. So let's go ahead and start with the first one and kind of just really quickly go through here, because I don't want to make the video too long. We're already at 13 minutes. So it goes over market cap, their range, key factors about the company, when they started, how many employees they have, some of their competitors here. So market cap versus industry peers. So houseware. Anyways, let's kind of continue on here. We have the top executives here. So we have their chairman, their CEO, president, executive vice president. So we have a couple names here. We could also click and kind of research and do more info on. We can click on how are they doing. This kind of goes into a depth look at what drives the value in a company's business. So we could request coverage. So Trefis will add companies to its coverage universe by popular request. Let them know what companies are important to you. So you could request this coverage for this company. So it looks like maybe, let's see what happens if we click this. You're entering another website. So let's go ahead and click OK. Let's take a look at what goes on here. Okay, so this is external company. It doesn't look like it's pulling me information pertaining to the specific stock. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. Now as we kind of move down, we can see the total revenue and the profit based off their revenue. So They have $3.68 billion of revenue, but only profit of X amount. So operating income is 362 million. So that's actually very nice. But their operating expense is 332 billion. So what does it really mean? Operating income is how much profit it nets after it pays its operating costs. Companies who can cover their costs quite well might invest that extra cash into new acquisitions, new projects, or paying dividends to their shareholders. In rare cases, too much operating cash might indicate a lack of direction of growth for the company. So there we go. We can see its revenues over the last 2 years. Net income growth has been mixed. So not too much growth between 2014 and 15, but it exploded after the acquisition in 2016. Same with their net income. It fell down a little bit in 2015, but after the acquisition, definitely picked it back up. Kind of gives you an explanation of what it really means. Talks a little bit about the last 4 quarters and how has their stock performed. Has underperformed relative to the S&P 500 last year. That's understandable. They lost 50% of their value. Yeah, 47.12. We can take a look at it in comparison to just consumer discretionaries. So consumer discretionaries are up 25%. Household durables are up 24%, whereas this stock is down 47%. And then we have some of their peers. So let's just go ahead and throw some of their peers in here and take a look at how their stocks have performed. So of these stocks, Tupperware seems to be one of the stronger performers of the peers of Newell. Let's continue here. Newell has a PE ratio that is below average for its industry. That signals that investors think, rightly or wrongly, that other companies in this industry have better growth prospects. So there's the industry average, there's Newell, and then there's the PE ratios of their peers and the company. So it kind of breaks down what it really means. PE ratio represents how much investors are willing to pay for $1 of the current earnings. A low PE means investors are not willing to pay very much for its current earnings. This can mean the stock is underpriced or that investors are not confident about the future prospects. Conversely, a high PE means investors are willing to pay a premium for the shares of the stock, but could also signal that stock is overpriced. And then you can read a full description. We can see the volatility is at a 1.1. The market volatility is at a 1. So this is a little bit more volatile than the actual S&P 500. And it kind of breaks down what it really means. So they have a dividend yield of 2.82, but as you know, they've recently fell, and they're now trading right around a 3.4, I believe. When I looked at their yield earlier, doesn't show it there, but continuing on to what the analysts say, we can see that they were rated a neutral from Bank of America, and they're currently a buy for CFRA, and they have a target price of $40, and then Bank of America has a target price of $28, and they're currently at a 23. So they are at a neutral. They're not at a buy because they fell by so much. And then we have short-term outlook is bearish. The mid-term outlook. So if you bought and held this stock for 6 weeks to 9 months, you could possibly see some sort of a bullish trend breakout. And if you held it over the 9 months or longer, it might begin to kind of pull back again. So if you were looking to invest in this one between 6 to 9 months, it looks like it could be bullish based off their information here that they were able to pick up. And then we have their MSCI, which is an in-depth analysis of the environmental, social governance, and related to best practices of thousands of companies. So here we can see that they are right at the very top of being average, and they're nearly considered a leader. And take a look at next steps. So here's an estimate of what 10 shares of Newell would cost. It would be $248.10 for those 10 shares. I don't know why that information is really helpful, but it's there. Check out some of Newell's brands. Here's stock stories. Okay, so then you can kind of go into their stock stories and take a look at some other stocks. So that is it for this video. I didn't want to make it too long. Some of these tools I had never used before, so that's why I wanted to cover it with you guys in case you guys do use Merrill Edge. This video may have been a little bit dry. Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys. If you did like the video, if you've learned a little bit of tools, if you are using Merrill Edge's research platform already, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Remember to hit that like button. If you're brand new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. If you guys like any of the tools that I showcased today, signing up for Merrill Edge is free, so you can begin using those tools for free. And then definitely look into opening up your very own self-directed Roth IRA. Again, tax sheltered. And that's it. If you have any questions or want to say anything else below, go ahead and leave those in the comment section. I will always respond to your guys' comments and questions. As a friendly disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor or tax professional. The information provided is my opinion for entertainment and fun. This is not investment advice. This is just me, a financial investor, trying to help others make their money work for them. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.